chase the demons from my last life. We find it hard putting things past us. Tend to start running so they couldn't catch us. Some can't escape the pain, some endure. Some attack us in the dreams, make us suffer more. Sometimes you know, sometimes you don't. Sometimes your thoughts provoke assumptions. Assume that you're wrong, it happens a lot. Sometimes it's easier pretending that you're somebody you're not. Someone needs to tell me when to stop. Sometimes I know, sometimes I don't.
Hi, today I'm going to be talking about Tree, a forgotten artist. Oliver Tree, either you love him or you hate him. For me personally, I used to love him. Keyword being used, because nowadays, I don't really give this guy any listening time at all, especially since the downturn in, let's just say, music quality. Like, no disrespect to any of the big fans of him or anything, but like, his new stuff just isn't it. I've heard all of Cowboy Tears, and I just didn't like it. It sounds bad, poppy, too country, with just a stupid extra layer of modern pop production in it that just makes it terrible. Even the deluxe to Ugly is Beautiful, which I consider to be a pretty good record, just adds nothing to it. There's only like one song I liked off the deluxe, and all the other ones either add nothing, or in the case of Life Goes On, hurt the record and make it objectively worse to listen to. All in all, Oliver Tree's modern music is just not very good. I don't like any of it. The last thing he did I'd consider actually good was Ugly is Beautiful, and that still had a few little speed bumps on it. But what if I told you that before Oliver Tree, he was known as someone different? A true outlier in music, an artist who I consider to be great. He was known as Tree. Tree seems to be Oliver's old persona in music. Even though I don't care for modern Oliver, I have to say he is great with his character. At this point, I actually think his music is just a way to express his character. While it hasn't been proven, I highly doubt Oliver acts how he does in the public, in private. There's a lot of evidence suggesting that Oliver Tree is a character, such as the infamous outfits that tend to go with the characters, and his many different other egos, like Tree, Turbo, Little Ricky. Tree being what I think is the closest thing to real Oliver as we're gonna get. Tree seems down to earth, acts like a normal person, and just seems like a creative kid making the things he wants to make. Tree's music is great, but some of the old stuff can be a little loud and dubsteppy. We're gonna start with the first Tree album, I think. I don't really know if it's the first, but it's hard to find out what came first. When what I'm doing my research off of are old archived Tumblr posts and a website that looks like it came straight out of 2012. This album has two titles. I'm not really sure which is the original, but the titles are Splitting Branches, and the more simple version of that being the alternate title, which is just called Splitting. This is my favorite Tree album, and it's also the most well-known and documented. Released sometime in February of 2013, this album is 10 tracks long with a runtime of 32 minutes and 46 seconds. For this video, the version of the album I will be viewing is the YouTube repost one, because the one on Spotify is kind of iffy. I trust the YouTube one more because it's older, has the original cover that is shown on the Tree Collaborations archive website, and the Spotify one seems to have a fault to it. For some reason on Spotify, the song Reds to Blues is just the same track as the following song, Warriors, but on the YouTube version, Reds to Blues is its own song, and the Spotify one just seems more sloppy, so yeah, gonna be using the YouTube one. The album's opening track, People, is really pretty with nice vocals from Oliver himself. The beat is really nice. I think it's a guitar. I don't know exactly what instrument it is, but it sounds great. It also has a good hook, and in general, it's a fun one. The following track has a really weird beat with a strange hook, but has some actually surprisingly good rap in it. The verse is well made. It also has a pretty good flow to it. I like it a lot. It's called Tully. A little weird for It's a little weird for a name. Artemisia, I think I pronounced that right, is really elegant. It's the third track. It has weird 8-bit sounding synths and sound effects and tambourines that give it a strange forest type vibe to the song. But to be completely honest with you, the whole album emits this energy. Like, once I was on a camping trip and I played this album and just walked around the woods, and it was a listening experience I'll honestly never forget. I know this is off topic, but listening to Wolf by Tyler, the Creator in the Forest, has a whole energy to it as well. I recommend you do that. But back on topic, the fourth song in the album, Revival, is really good. Starting with this weird clicky, clacky sound, like that sounds like bones dropping, and then drops into a pretty nice 2010 sort of industrial beat. The way he pronounces and says certain things in the song can get annoying. His tone can get a little annoying as well, but it's still a good song. It has a slightly edgy lyric in it, which makes some people turn heads when you play this song. The beat ends up tapering off and the song resolves well. And then after that, the next song, From Reds to Blues, is a really good one, although it's pretty much just a long interlude being all instrumental. But it is really soothing. I liked it a lot. This is a beautiful track. And then after that song, we pick up at Warrior. Its hook can get a little irritating, but I like it. It goes along well with the rest of the album. But I don't really listen to this song on my own terms a lot. I usually only hear it when listening to this full album. And no hate on it or anything, it's just not really one of those songs that I would go back to and just listen to casually. But most of the cuts on this record are like that. Next track, This Is Separation, is good, and I really like it. The beat has a funky drum pattern. Its hook is catchy and stays in your mind. The singing is really good, and all in all, this song is great. Seems to depict a relationship that has either just ended or has ended a while ago. I can't really get a concrete narrative out of it, however. Universal is a cool track. That's all I have to say for that one. The track after it is Sacred Elements, and I have a lot to say about this song. Its instrumental is really good. The distorted instrument and the drums and the evolving bass is really good. The song's lyrical content is amazing. The song gives a sad narrative but also looks forward in life to see the start of new things. The song's chorus, all good things must come to an end. That's just the way it's always been. It might not seem that fair to you, but it is the start of something new. Just gives an example on how bittersweet the song is. The instrumental gives this sense of panic, like everything in life is moving too fast and you are constantly being separated from your past good times and are now approaching the end year by year, getting closer and closer. And that's a feeling that I've been feeling a lot recently, and I just don't care for it. But great song. This song made me feel a lot better, and I have nothing but good things to say about it. It really helped me and gave me a new sort of attitude towards when I get that dark feeling. This song has helped me through a lot of personal topics that I would like to keep out of this video. But the preceding song is even better, however. This track is my favorite song off of the album, and it is one of the greatest songs of all time in my opinion. The song is titled Stuck Down in the Wrong Rabbit Hole, and it's just perfect. Everything about it's great, and it has two versions. The single, which released before the album sometime in 2012, is a extended version that is a little over 6 minutes. And then the version I'm going to be listening to is the one on the album that came out on Splitting Branches in 2013, is a little over 3 minutes. The only difference between them is that the extended loops the chorus like 3 more times and adds some instrumental. So you're not missing anything with the shorter version, really. The instrumental is amazing, and I think it's really pretty. This song holds a special place in my heart, and I find it to be amazing. But it also has a music video with the 6-minute version. It's great, and that caps off this album. Splitting Branches is amazing, and I really think it deserves more attention than it currently gets. And one day, if you have the extra 30 or so minutes, I would really recommend you listen to the full thing. And when you do, I want you to come back here and tell me how it was. I imagine you'd like it. It's a nice, calming 2010s album. The production and atmosphere on it's amazing, and that's all I have to say for Splitting Branches. Before I cover the next album, I would like to talk about some other things on this topic. One, vinyl pressings for the albums. I know there were pressings for Splitting Branches because Oliver Tree's old Vine account has a post of him showing vinyl pressings for Splitting Branches. Don't quote me on this part, but I'm pretty sure there was a Tumblr post showing the album pressings as well. And while we know there were pressings, we don't know exactly how he sold them. Take this part with a grain of salt, but it is believed that he just sold them around Santa Cruz, his hometown. But this information could be false. I'm literally getting this information from a random Reddit post from like 4 years ago. I don't know the exact price he sold them for or anything like that, and said nothing about that. But we do know they existed at one point, and for all we know, he may not have sold any. I've been searching for this album on vinyl for a while now, and I have had no luck finding it. I've come to the realization that I will probably never get my hands on an original copy of it on vinyl. There are some companies that put MP3s on vinyl, and I might just download the MP3 of the album and pay like the 50 or so bucks to print the album on a record myself. I'm sure it's not official, but it's probably the best option at this point if you're into collecting records. Also, I don't know for sure if this site ever worked, but it could have been how Tree sold the vinyls. On the Tree Collaborations YouTube channel, the group he was a part of, the banner says Demons debut EP out now on 12-inch vinyl. And on the bottom right of the banner, there's a thing that says order, and if you click on it, it takes you to a dormant, no longer up website called treecollaborations.com/store or store.html. I don't know if you could purchase other things here, such as the Splitting vinyl, or if it was just the Demons vinyl, but it's a possible lead. Number 2, the Tree Collaborations YouTube channel, which is the YouTube channel that belonged to Tree Collaborations, which according to their website is a multimedia collective of painters, musicians, web designers, and directors out of the Bay Area. On their YouTube channel, they only have 3 videos that are still up. According to comments, some Tumblr posts, and Reddit posts, they had more uploads, but they were either privated or taken down. The 3 videos they have up are a music video for a track off of Splitting Branches, which is Tully, the second one, a cover of Radiohead's Karma Police by Oliver Tree, and the music video to Stuck Down in the Wrong Rabbit Hole. This YouTube channel even has a comment from Tree himself on the Tully music video saying he was the one singing, which is already apparent. 3, Ashwood Project. The Ashwood Project is a project led by multiple people to find all of the old Tree Collaboration stuff that has been removed from the internet. These guys have a YouTube channel with the same name as the Tree Collaborations channel, but instead of the white logo, the logo is orange, fire type cover. I checked them out. They re-upload a lot of stuff, and their findings helped out a lot with this video in general. But it's just cool to see all this rare stuff that not a lot of other people had laid eyes on before. There's a really cool video on their channel called The Making of Stuck Down in the Wrong Rabbit Hole, and it's pretty much just a bunch of bloopers from the music video for Stuck Down in the Wrong Rabbit Hole. They have a presence on all other social medias as well, uncovering some of the art from Tree Collaborations. And I have to say, these guys could paint. Art's pretty good. For the Mr. Tree Spotify, around August of 2021, the Mr. Tree Spotify became active and started re-releasing old albums. And all the albums were saying they were released in 2021. But then randomly, sometime between November and January of all the re-releases, they just disappeared. And all we were left with was the original 2013 Splitting Branches. Just like it was before August. So I don't really know what that is about. But at least to my knowledge, not many people knew that Mr. Tree became active for that short window other than me. The Mr. Tree YouTube channel did the same thing, but the re-releases of the albums are still public on YouTube, so at least we can still listen to them. In the description of all the albums re-releases on YouTube, you can click a Spotify link that leads you to re-uploads of the albums, but all the songs are blanked out and unplayable. And then 5, the Tree Collaborations website. The website's fun and cool. It has an archive on it which shows a timeline of when things happened, like certain album releases, and it helped a lot with the creation of this video. I really recommend checking it out. It gives you a little peek into what Tree and his group were up to back then, and honestly, it's just a cool little piece of history. Demons by Tree is a 3-song, 15-minute EP. This section of the video won't be very long because the EP is only 3 tracks, and the third one was on Splitting Branches, so I won't really go too far into that one. But the first track, Demons, is really good. Has a slight post-apocalyptic vibe to it, but I might be the only one who gets that feel from it. It's really good. Its vocals are great, and the lyrics are fun. A nice song all around. It has a good message about not pretending to be something you want, and sometimes you must go face to face with your quote-unquote demons. I don't know if it's a sample or a vocal reversed, but there's some sample sounding thing, and it's really nice. It's all reversed, and it just sounds cool. It's like midway through the song. The next song isn't really anything special. It's a cover. It's Karma Police by Radiohead, but with a fresh new coat of paint from Tree. I don't really care for the original song, nor do I care very much for the cover, so I don't really have anything else to say about this song. The third and final song on Demons is one that we have already heard, Stuck Down in the Wrong Rabbit Hole, and I love this song, but I already went in depth on it on the Splitting Branches part of the video. But this isn't the short version, this is the full 6-minute one, and with that closing off Demons, I have to say it was decent, but Karma Police takes it down a lot. And I also feel like it was a poor use of the extended version of Stuck Down in the Wrong Rabbit Hole. It was honestly just a bad choice, because you have to keep in mind that this EP is only 15 minutes long, and this one song takes up a good amount of its runtime. I feel that they should have either used the non-extended and had a shorter runtime all in all, or just use the extended but have like 3 more tracks on the EP, rounding it out to 6 and making it have a longer runtime, but that one song doesn't take up as much of a majority like it was. So those are my thoughts on Demons. The next release from Tree is a full album this time, titled Criff. As far as I know, a little before the Tree era, he went by the name Criff and would make dubstep and rap. It seems like he is using this ego throughout this album because it has a lot more rap cuts and dubstep cuts on it. The first track, Once It's Gone, has a nice bass line and also a really nice feature. I have no clue who the rapper featured is, but his verse is really strong, and I wish I could find out who it was. Verse was just great all around, and the chorus is really nice. It's a great first track. I'm looking forward to the rest of this album. The second song, An Apology, is just that, an apology. In this song, Tree seems to be apologizing to a female for being just a jerk, quote-unquote. And honestly, it's one of the weaker songs on the album. The preceding track, Turn the Music Up, is a dubstep track, and while I'm not the biggest dubstep fan, I like this song. It has a cool 2010s energy to it, and in general, it's just groovy. It has a nice melody to it, and it doesn't have any vocals, however. Then the following song, Worldwide, is really good. It has a beat reminiscent of earlier Kanye or Jay-Z. It's one of the hip-hop cuts off the album, and personally, I think it's great. He has a good verse in it as well, but the only thing I'd change is the mixing. His vocals pretty much overpower the beat, and his voice can just be a little loud and obnoxious at times. After that song, we have another dubstep track with no vocals this time, being called Shattered Fractal. This is my favorite dubstep song off this record. I find it nice. I like the synths and the glitchy instruments and the fuzzy, distorted bass, and the nice drum pattern. By no means is it perfect, but I think it's got some value, and honestly, I might go back to this song every now and then in the future, which is more than some of these others can say for himself. After that, we have Smell You Later. Is the next song. The beat's really nice. It's really groovy. The nice jazzy sounding instruments, the fuzzy lo-fi drums, the hooky, catchy flow. All of this makes this song really good. I would say this is one of the better songs on the album, and the only gripe I have with it is that it's too short. It only has one verse in it and one chorus, and I wish maybe there was like a second or even a third verse in the song. It's another rap cut on the album, but it stands out in comparison to the other songs off of this record. So this is so far my favorite rap song on this album. Immediately after the groovy beat of Smell You Later, we get a blaring synth, signifying the start of a new song on the record. And then Session, which has really nice instrumental, but the drums don't match the best with the synth, and the flow is really weird. The mixing is kind of wacky. I really don't care for the rapping on this song. It's another rap cut, obviously, and so far it's the worst one. But I will admit, on the latter half of the song, when he stops talking and it kind of switches up, it gains a little. Gaining Momentum proceeds to be the next track, and it's actually really good. I really enjoyed the sample that the beat builds on. It's honestly really catchy, and the instrumental to this one is sure to stick in your head for a while. But again, its only problem is the length. It's too short. It's got one verse. I wish there were at least 2 verses on all these like shorter hip-hop cuts on the record. And then after we hear this, we get Jawbreak, which is another dubstep song. It's pretty good, just not my type of music. Sounds like something that would play during like a really intense scene in like a Cartoon Network show. Like I could imagine I'd hear this exact thing if Uncle Grandpa was racing a flying RV, riding on his RV through space while they struggle to take each other in a really close race, or like a big fight scene in The Amazing World of Gumball. It just sounds so final and tense, but I don't think I'll be coming back to it after listening to this album. And then the next song, which is also the final song on the record, is Your Entire Life in a Song. Its beat is really good, but his mic quality is really compressed and the mixing is really weird. The song is still really good. Also, it's really quick and lasts just under a minute. And with that, we finish Criff. All in all, this album was legitimately good. I liked it quite a bit. Some of the dubstep cuts on it get a little boring, and the mixing on several of the songs isn't the best. It's kind of whack at some points, but I still really like it. This definitely will not be the last time I listen. Alright, just like I did after listening to Splitting Branches, I'm going to talk about some side stuff real quick. One, I don't know if it was Tree himself doing the artwork on his covers or if it was someone else in Tree collaborations, but they're great. Like, the covers to all these albums are fantastic, with the exception of Criff. The cover for this album we are about to talk about, Finale, I think, or it might just be Final, but it's spelled like Finale, is really mystical and pretty. Same thing with the Splitting Branches cover, and I also really like the vibe that the Demons cover gives off. Two, the cinematography in the music videos is amazing. Like, these guys were actually really talented and could do a lot of really impressive things for the time. The animation and live action split they do in the Stuck Down in the Wrong Rabbit Hole music video is beautiful, and it's just really impressive. But enough of that. Let's get into the final album. Finale is the name of the last album by Tree, released in 2014, maybe 2015. I do not know the exact release date, as I could not find anything, but since the last album came out in 2014 and the Oliver Tree persona started in 2016, I'm assuming this album was dropped between late 2014 and mid 2015. Its cover is majestic. This will be my first listen of this album, so let's just start it. The first track, Soul Mother I Love You, is really weird and almost dubstep-y. There's some lo-fi in there too. It's really good. It starts with a pitched up Tree singing the hook. The production on the song is already much glossier and smoother than his past stuff. It's a lot cleaner, has better mixing. The technical improvements are already showing, and this opening actually got me excited for the album, which is something not a lot of albums nowadays can manage to do to me with an opening. This song concludes majestically as well. And then we're introduced to the second track, Recuperation Day. Starting off with loud white noise in the background and chopped up little synths, people yelling audibly in the back. What sounds to be like the light metallic clicks and clacks of silverware can be heard, and then the synths slowly get more intense and the white noise ends and everything kind of goes silent for a moment before a trap drum beat starts playing, and then it stops and chops up again. This song was really short and was mostly instrumental, but I really liked it. It's pretty broken up. The elegant little 8-bit synths give it sort of character. Then next we have Every Bit of My All, which in my opinion is the perfect mix of Oliver Tree and Tree. It sounds like something that would have been dropped under the Oliver Tree persona in like 2016 to 2017. Its nice melody and wavy beat and catchy hook makes the song a must listen. It's a little poppy, but still containing that mellow, chill atmosphere of the earlier Tree stuff that Oliver Tree just doesn't seem to have nowadays. It honestly just sounds like a cut off of Splitting Branches, like had a baby with a cut off of Ugly is Beautiful. But at this point, it just kind of goes into like a dubstep thing. It's kind of offbeat at the end, but it's good. Next song off of the Criff album, is a track called, Black Hole. This one was weird. Starts with a sample of what sounds like a homeless Kanye West on meth, talking about black holes and how he's becoming a god. It's just a really weird sample in general, but then the actual song picks up with a very lo-fi, smooth and chilling instrumental. Looking at the song's length, being a little bit longer than 4 minutes, it actually seems like we're in for a treat. The build-up takes a while, but I kind of like it, and I think it creates suspension, but the song never really goes anywhere, and all in all, it's instrumental, and it's just too long for what it is. I might listen to it occasionally in the future, and then the next song we can skip, because it's the Karma Police cover that was on the Demons EP, and it's just not my thing. I don't care for the weird, dry, raspy vocals, and the fact that in the song he sounds like he's losing his voice constantly, and this one song just dragged the album down a little. Places We've Never Been kicks off to a good, nice, soothing start with a groovy, catchy beat. Nice bass line in the background as well. The song is really mystic sounding, but it's just instrumental. I'm getting a little fed up with all these instrumentals. Like, yeah, they're cool and all, but there's too much of them, and they are longer than the majority of the other songs. One of my biggest gripes with Tree, really, is that he has the length of his songs all whack. Like, they're all messed up. They're either always just, like, way too long or, like, way too short. Like, a little over 1 minute or, like, 5 minutes plus. And I just don't care for that. After that, we get the track Rising Phoenix, reusing the line from Sacred Elements, saying Death Ray, Golden Age. This song is really chill, and it's just a relaxing good time, and for that I applaud it. This song is probably the most reminiscent of Splitting Branches we've seen so far. It's really good. It's the nice layering of Tree's voice and that one girl who does the chorus and Stuck Down the Wrong Rabbit Hole sounds really good. The wind chimes add something to it I can't really describe as well. Very good song. After that, we have the track What You Have to Do. This song's cool. It's just another instrumental, which I previously stated those are getting a little old, so I'm not going to go too in-depth on this one. On the next track, Next Level Shit, is a song from way back when he was called Criff. Everything's really compressed and the mixing's wonky. Not sure why it's on this album, but it's a little intense and I kind of like it. Now we get Dagon, which opens with what sounds like a shower running, and then a synth comes in slowly. Shuffling can be heard in the background while distant wind chimes and flute play. The beat drops with an amazing 808 that's been all distorted and all fucked up. Everything slows, another synth enters, new drums, a phone dial can be heard, and the song sounds epic. More phone dialing can be heard, everything slows, a choir opens up beautifully. That's a new thing for Tree. And while it may have been another instrumental, it was the perfect closing to the legacy that is Tree. This album was great, and the only thing I have to say about it that's bad is that there were just too many instrumentals. Overall, my ranking of the Tree albums would be the best one is Splitting Branches, second place Finale, third place Criff, and fourth place Demons. The only thing I didn't really care for was Demons, because it only introduced one new song, and the other two was, one was a cover that was already released, and the other was on the previous album. The best song by Tree was Stuck Down in the Wrong Rabbit Hole, and the worst song was probably the Karma Police cover. Seriously though, if you haven't heard any of them, please give it a try. This music's great, and honestly, it just means a lot to me. Tree, is such an underrated artist, and I just can't overstate like how much he's helped in life. I think that's about it. Like, subscribe. Talk to y'all later.